Welcome to the Tone Jerks podcast. I'm your host, Brian Gower, and with me today we got...
Kyle McIntyre.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Kyle, what's new in your world? What's shaking? What's grooving? What is good?
Well, I had a visit here from a Johnny Ray, so we unfortunately didn't get a cast going. But he's gonna be back in town actually soon.
Yeah,
which is funny. Like he's doing. There's like it's a year round downhilling spot here for like mountain biking in my county. Apparently, yeah. It's like the only one in the U.S. that's all year round, and so he's here. He's gonna be back here like on. We're doing this Saturday night. He'll be back here on Sunday night to get like a Airbnb on the mountain, bro. He's gonna be on the mountain. It's like a hill.
Yeah,
it's not that big of a. But it's got like a lift and everything. It's got like a.
Oh, that's cool.
I sent you guys a picture of it actually, and that's what he's like. What the hell? And he looked it up. He's like, "Holy shit!" I sent our group, sent the boys chat. You know.
Yeah.
Because I was really surprised to see it too. Yeah, it's cool. So he's coming out here to do that, some downhilling. And we hung out. We did a little trip down to San Antonio. Okay. We went to Monster Robot or Robot Monster. I think that's what it is. Robot Monster.
Yeah.
Vintage gear.
Okay.
He ended up buying like a VHS tape, which is pretty sick.
Oh, that's cool. What do you get?
I forget what movie you got.
Ernest.
It's a classic.
Goes to
camp
classic or something like that.
Yeah. Fucking
Ernest.
Fucking Ernest causes 9/11. Yeah. I think that's the one he got. Ernest offends America. I can't remember which one he got.
Ernest storms the Capitol. Hey, Vern.
Ernest causes. Ernest does tax evasion.
Yeah. He's like, where's Nancy?
So. We went down to San Antonio.
Yeah.
It was fucking hot as hell. We drove down there. Got some cool coffee. I got cool coffee next door. I got like a cold brew, which is sick. I didn't realize this place. You know, you see like some shops, you're like, I'm not going in there.
Mm-hmm.
I've walked past this place like a million times, and you're like, oh, there's a coffee shop here because we got there early. Like it opened at 12. I thought I fucked up because we drove down there, and I get to the storefront, and it has like their locks are on the door. I'm like, oh shit! They said they were gonna be open today.
We fucked up.
It's 11:30, Kyle. You dumb fuck. You drive way too fast.
Yeah.
So
this is burning rubber.
I'm such an idiot. So
Leadfoot Kyle. They call me the Intimidator.
Driving that lead sled.
Yeah.
We got coffee. It's funny. Johnny got hot tea.
He's not a coffee
He
guy.
got an accident, and he just I think he got hot tea on accident, but he was like, yeah, whatever, man, it's fine.
It was 100 degrees out. I'm like, this is good.
Yeah, no, it was like 100 degrees. He's drinking hot tea. I'm like, that sounds refreshing.
Yeah.
He's like,
I also want to get some soup.
I think. Yeah, you get some soup. We could do the hot ones challenge if you want.
Yeah.
We need some hot wings. You know.
Yeah.
Talk back and forth, answer some questions. Which to me, that show has to be if I were to do that, that'd be the most annoying thing, to eat really spicy food and have someone ask you questions.
Yeah. I saw that Shane Gillis, the only
Shane
one
was
I've been
on it.
Interested in is the Shane Gillis one. I still got to watch it.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I don't know if I really.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, Shane's great.
The young king did pretty good.
So I know they have a bunch of celebrities and shit like that on there. I'm like, cool, I don't give a fuck about the celebrity. Oh, Shane's on? Now I care.
Yeah. Ooh, my boy.
You have my attention.
My boy's made it. He's been on Hot Ones.
Hot Ones. Well, people were like, this is pretty fucking cool that he's on there. It's like, He's just going through it.
Yeah.
He's on.
He's like, this is cool. To be honest, I'm nervous. He's like, I'm nervous as hell. Anyways, so then we went to we went to the snake farm.
Okay.
His uncle owns it.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Runs it, owns it. So we went there and it was cool. We got a pet. We're like 2 grown men going there. You know, it's something like you take your kids to, or whatever. Go
like a loose
enjoy
hair
it. But
like
2 grown men.
loose,
Go ahead. What were you saying?
Sorry, loose hair that's like just tickling my face. I'm like, God damn it. Anyway, sorry.
It's probably not hair. It's probably a spider, Brian.
Well, I was
Put
about to
that-
ask.
Plant
You
that
bring
in the
that out
backyard.
there. Were there tarantulas there? Or was that,
I'm sure. Yeah, actually, we didn't look in the reptile
did you?
place.
I know,
We
I
didn't
was
hang
saying,
out
like,
too long.
There were
there.
tarantulas if you could pick them up. Could you imagine that?
There got fucking spiders on my property that are like this fucking big.
Do you have
They're
tarantulas there?
fucking huge. They're like wolf spiders. They're huge.
Yeah, it's scary.
Carrie said that she saw a tarantula though.
Damn. Imagine
But
if
it
that
was
was
a smaller
in
one.
your house.
Oh man.
Don't put that out there.
Yeah.
Don't put that on
That's
me.
bad juju. That's bad mojo, dude.
He starts setting up fucking like gun turrets. What are these
Defensive barriers.
for?
Yeah.
Tarantulas.
Digging moats, putting water in them.
Mm-hmm.
They can't get past that.
Well, I was like, I'd mentioned like the podcast, Sam Talent's podcast. Him and Nathan Lund are in like southern Colorado, so it's like Trinidad and La Junta, and then that's just a thing that happens. Like there's like the spider migration. They go to like mate
Yeah,
or whatever.
oh, geez.
It's just like through the town and through your backyard. There's just tarantulas. I'm like, what in the fuck? Oh my god! And people are like, they're like, oh, they're not they're not venomous towards people, really. Maybe for small children
Yeah, but it's
or
still
dogs,
terrifying.
like they could kill them, But it's like, yeah, for like adults, I'm like, yeah, it might just hurt. But it's like, yeah, okay, 1, I don't want to get bitten by a fucking spider. 2, I don't want a spider on me. I don't want a spider in my house.
Yeah.
Like, not a
Hell
spider.
no.
It's a fucking tarantula. And people are like, oh, people love to
Yeah.
go see them as they migrate. I'm like, what the fuck? That's just a thing that happens? Okay, Colorado off the move to list, cross it out.
Well, yeah, maybe the mountains are better. Or Denver, Colorado Springs. The Springs, baby.
I don't know. Just the fact that it's like, it's a
Anyways.
sight to see is like, oh, the spider migration. What the fuck?
Yeah. So, we let's see I forget what it was Sunday. So, we went there to the New Braunfels Snake Farm / Animal Farm, whatever it is, which is cool. And then we went and got Terry Black's, which is so good. I love that. It's so good. The beef there, the sides there. Beautiful.
You're like, like
so we went
chef's
there,
kiss.
which is cool. We go
Compliments to the chef.
tell Terry it's great. He doesn't
Tell
work
Terry.
here. He sits on his ass all day. So let's see what else we do. We the next day we kind of just hung out and we went I took the day off. We went to Longhorn Caverns, so that's in my county here. It's cool. I didn't realize it was so big, like such a big cavern system. But yeah, it was like 160 feet under the ground or something.
Okay, damn.
It's very gnarly. It has some history there where they used to have like dances and stuff in the like 30s in there because it's nice and
Everybody just
cool.
doing
And serve
the
food.
Charleston down there.
Yeah, do raves. And then they had like crazy stuff where they had like people getting kidnapped by Indians and the Indians would take them down there. Natives,
Yep.
Native Americans. And it was cool. It had a lot of history. It's cool. I bought a hat. I'm not wearing it though. That night though, I got fucking food poisoning.
Yeah,
Horrible.
you're telling me.
Absolutely horrible. I was like, I wasn't feeling very well. Like, I'm like, man, my food's not digesting. So I took some like stuff to stop my, like indigestion stuff. Took some Pepto too. So I took I thought it was just like heartburn at first, and then I took Pepto after that, and then I woke up later. I'm like, man, I can't. Like, I feel like oh, shit, and I'm putting on my. I sleep without a shirt on, so I'm putting on my shirt. I have it in my hand actually, and Carrie wakes up. She's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Man, I feel like I'm gonna throw up." And as soon as I fucking said that, my body was like, "Throw up."
That's what we needed.
Okay. And so I had my shirt in my hand, so I put it up. Oh, that's disgusting. So I threw up in my shirt. It was in my mouth mostly, but I had to like push my shirt up against my mouth. Go to the bathroom and just let it. Oh man, it's bad. And then I was, out my butt, out my mouth.
Yeah, you've never done that where you're like throwing up into a trash can while you're like faucet out your ass at the same time.
Shitting. You're like your stomach is just like it's like the middle of like toothpaste. Someone just like karate chopped it. It's just gonna blow up both ways, basically.
Oh God.
Yeah. So, and like I, shit a couple times. I took a shower immediately because I had all this puke in my fucking beard. I wasn't expecting it, so just like I was standing up when I puked. So just like, anyways. So washed my beard out, all this stuff. Took a shower. I need a shower anyways. And then next morning, so when I was running to go, moving through the bedroom to get to the door, and the door, I slammed the door because the cats wanted to come in, right? So I slammed the door in the middle of the night. So it's 3 in the morning. I'm like, God damn, I'm waking up everyone. I'm trying to be, I'm also freaking out because I'm puking. Hey, so Johnny later on, I'm like, hey, sorry I slammed that door last night. He's like, I didn't hear it. I'm like, yeah, well, sorry, I was, I'm sick, I was puking, whatever. I'm sick, This is Tuesday morning, and he's like, we're talking. I'm like, man, I said it again. I'm like, man, I don't feel too good. I think I'm gonna puke, and my body was like, puke, and I'm like, oh shit, I had to run again. Oh yeah, I missed the toilet this time, and just
imagine.
So I had to freaking clean everything. And
yeah, when you're sick or with kind of not my, my vacation or staycation that I had the past week or so. There was a day. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go get this burrito spot. So a couple blocks away, walk over there, go get it. And I'm like, well, this burrito kind of sucked. I felt like the meat was dry, but also really fatty at the same time. And then the service wasn't that great. I'm like, man, I remember coming here all the time. I'm like, this was so great. I'm like, whatever. So I'm like, well, I'm still gonna eat this burrito because I bought it and then finished it. And I'm like, And the whole rest of that day, I'm just and I'm like, for a little bit, and then I was just cool. It wasn't severe food poisoning, but it just felt like it was just not good. Because I'm like, here's a bunch of fat that we threw on there. And then here's some dry ass meat. And I'm like, well, I'm still gonna eat it because I bought it. It's 12 fucking goddamn dollars. Your boy's gonna eat it, right? I'm like, I should have just not ate it. Not super bad, it wasn't projectile vomit, but I was just the diarrhea. And I was like, man, this sucks. This whole fucking day. And it's constantly, I'm like, well, I guess it's good that I'm not at work. I'm at home. But it's constantly oh, time to go shit. You're a in your stomach. I'm like, yeah, time. I'm like, that sucks. I'm like, this is my vacation. God damn it. Screwed again. Do you know what it was that gave it to you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So
there was this egg salad sandwich that fell behind the fridge, and I thought it was okay if I just put it in the microwave.
Yeah, microwave it. God, who microwaves egg salad?
Cool. It's cool.
No, so, the pho place.
Really?
Actually, I didn't have pho. I had vermicelli. So vermicelli is so the way they serve it. It's still rice noodles, but they serve it like in a salad kind of thing. So I got spicy chicken, vermicelli, and it has rice. It's got peanuts. It's got, or I said rice noodles. I should say peanuts, lettuce, and then the chicken, the sauce, and whatever. It's good. You toss it around. It's fucking great. Now I don't think it was the chicken that was bad. I think it was something else in the dish that was bad. Because chicken's bad. Usually, I mean, I've had bad chicken, and that lasts for days and days.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like salmonella, you know, that really takes it out of you. But at least with man, yeah, it was a rough one. Sorry, I'm still thinking about it. Yeah, I think it was that, but everyone else was fine. Everyone else had something different. So Johnny had like a shrimp dish. Carrie had orange chicken, so it was different cut of chicken, I guess. But I think it was something it could have been the noodles that had been sitting out for too long. Because even those things, especially like rice, it can actually develop a certain bacteria, and maybe that's what I got.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about food care or prep or whatever, except I just had a girlfriend one time. She's like, "Oh, if you eat more like vegetables or like vegetarian kind of stuff, it's like you're less likely to get food poisoning." I'm like, "Yep, she said it." True. So,
well, maybe less likely. But it's not end all.
So I kind of was like, oh, she's like, oh, wherever, go somewhere and you're unfamiliar. She's like, oh, I'll eat from like, we've gone, like, we were dating. It's like, oh, let's go eat at this like food stand or food cart or whatever. I think on our way to go up to San Francisco. She's like, oh, let's just stop here. She's like, I'm just going to get a vegetarian thing. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that too. I'm like, when she explained that her like thought process, I'm like, yeah, that works for me. Just move on, because I'm like, I'm gonna be like, oh, cool, we're in the middle of like California, that's some random like shop here. Let me get the fish and scallops.
No, it's probably a good move, but the thing is, and let me give you a little something. If it's cut fruit or vegetables, it still has the same. Once it's been cut, it has the same standards. And it's susceptible to the same things as meat. Yeah. So you can get, Shigella typhi, you could get, other things like that. But it's like melon. Like once you cut a melon, now it has a time temperature. So you have to be cooled. You have to put it in can't sit at a certain temperature for too long because it can develop bacteria.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah,
there you go. There's some boring shit for you.
And I was thinking about it, like,
thanks, Kyle. Thanks for ruining my day.
When I got food poisoning last year at that like work like trip or whatever I had to do, to worked in LA for a few days. I was fucking banged over the head like for a couple days. I felt like shit, and I'm like, but I still had to do the job, and like whatever, or at least I felt like I had to do it.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I'm like, okay, I can finally probably stomach some food. What am I gonna have? I'm like, Chipotle, burping the mic. Chipotle, just veggie burrito. Let me get like no salsa, but just give me like the because I'm like, I can't have meat. I don't want to risk it. I'm like, all right. Keep it boring. I'm like, add more rice, please.
Yeah, I think the first thing, I actually ate that was solid was like, or at least for dinner, was something that
piece of bread.
Gary's like, no, I didn't have bread. It was she did beef, and we usually do like, okay, I'm like losing it here. Cream of mushroom soup. You ever had that before? Okay, so we didn't have any of that, but we had kind of the gravy that it's in. So we did like beef, like ground beef, with that in it, with like that kind of gravy. No mushrooms though. and then rice. Okay. Simple, easy. My stomach can handle that. And then I was like, we have corn. You know what? That sounds good too. Just the corn in there. She's like, this is the weirdest thing I think I've ever made.
She's like, this is just
It's
stuff put together.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, but this is all I can eat. I can't think about, food, or I can't have anything. Because she had asked, we can do noodles or something. Well, yeah, that's fine. Oh, that was what the first had. I had noodles with, I think butter was on it and Parmesan.
Yeah.
That was it. I was like, okay, that's all I can have. That's all I can
That's a
eat.
good move. First
No
thing
meat.
back. Yeah.
Nothing.
No meat. Yeah.
And then she's like, do you want we have Alfredo sauce? I'm like, no. I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, no, thank you. Appreciate it, but to me that sounds absolutely horrible. It's like cream, just like cream sauce.
Nothing too crazy. We don't want to rock the boat here.
Cheesy cream sauce. Yeah. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, what is it? It's
I can't stomach that.
Brat. What is it? Bananas, rice. Is it applesauce and toast?
Oh.
That's kind of like the first, like the four things that you can have after like food poisoning. Just stick to that and you'll be fine.
Yeah, so I should have probably followed. I don't think we had bananas. Bananas, I don't like them sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes I just get like they have to be like ripe as hell. Green bananas.
Oh no, yeah, green bananas. They kick rocks. Get out of here.
Horrible.
I'm thinking like, you don't want to do. I mean, always best. Banana, peanut butter, toasted sandwich. Easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't do bread right off. I guess I did. That's pasta. But
should have got one of those fucking like 99 cents French bread. Just chow that down.
Oh fuck!
Just in bed.
I want to go right now. I just want to get one right now.
In bed watching fucking Trailer Park Boys.
Just hollowing out the center of one of those.
And you put it back on the shelf at the store.
Take it back to HEB. Yeah, trade it out for a new one.
Art of the deal with Kyle McIntyre.
When I was figuring out what we were gonna try and eat one night for dinner, I think I went to HEB and they didn't have any. They didn't have any. I'm like, fuck. They had the garlic ones. I'm like, that's fine, but I really want just a plain Jane. $1. Yeah. Damn. Sometimes you get them when they're fucking warm. And you're like, I'll take 5.
Remember those growing up where they had the garlic bread ones? They would just throw it in the oven. And then the idea now, I'm like, I've never done it because I'm like, I'm, have some class, but also I don't have the gumption. But you take those and it's like it's split in half already. It already has all the garlic shit on it. You bake it.
Yeah.
And then you make fucking chicken parm, dude. Put them on there. Make just a big old Sammy. Slice it up. And there you go. And then some angel hair pasta. Boom. God. Right. Pastaroni. Hello. Now that's a garbaggio meal.
The smorgasbord.
Oh, yeah. That's all right.
Yeah. So I'm still not quite back at it. I mean, I back at it like shoveling. Just what I mean is I still smell something or whatever. I'm like, oh. So like went to a customer of mine, and there is like I said, it's like 100 degrees out here, so their trash is like baking, but now it's like a huge loading dock, like huge, just like probably it's just big, but it's just covered in juices from their trash and I walking up there in the heat, and it just like enveloped. It's just like I'm like. I'm gonna fucking puke before I make it in here.
Yeah, I'm gonna add to the smell by adding throw up, just projectile like a velociraptor or like the raptors that spit out shit, like blah, and and then you walk into the
get Newman. Yeah.
And then you just like, all right, and then you just walk into your job like you should go home, but you're like, I gotta do what I gotta do.
Just puke everywhere and then just turn around and walk out and don't even see anyone.
I checked in. I'm good.
Yeah. Well, I left my mark here. Yeah, it was pretty rough. And then I had to go back to this the next day, which they were washing it, which is nice, but there's like a pile of gelatinous gray matter all over, and I'm trudging through it with my boots. I'm like, this isn't any better. Actually, I still smell it, and now I get a seat.
Yeah, with like work when you're sick, I'm usually like, if I'm like shitting my brains out or like throwing up, that's what like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stay home. Not that I'm like, pull up your bootstraps, I'm a tough guy. I'm like, if it's like I need a wellness day, I don't do that. So if I'm like sick, like there was one day I was like, I don't know what the hell it was, or if I ate, or like it felt like I was like super dizzy as I was driving. I made it like a block or two from my, on my way to work, and I'm like, just pull over, and I'm like, a bunch of bile just came up. Luckily I had, my move is to have like a towel like in the passenger seat.
Oh yeah, we know how you especially on a date.
Like I could.
Don't forget to bring a 17
if I need to
a stack
wipe
of
my
napkins,
ass, or if I need to like blow my nose. Like there was one time I told you, I think like a random, just like uncontrollable like nosebleed. I'm like, I think this is the first time I've ever had one. Okay, hopefully I'm not dying.
If I got a blow ass or blow my nose, I got plenty of
towel
napkins.
that I stole from 24-Hour Fitness back in the day. That's my truck towel now, and I get to like, I was like, okay, this thing's gonna catch like boogers, blood, or bile, something. And it's hey, that's the move. Keep a truck towel. And I'm like, this like it's like a size of like a beach towel, and I'm just like, and I was just like bile, just like, like throwing up. And then I'm like, I have it all over my face, and I just wipe my face. And I'm like, I call my work. Yeah, I'm not coming in today. I'm sorry. I'm sick. And like, okay, well, have a good day, or whatever. Feel better. I'm like legit. I just threw up on my way to work. I'm like, I'm going back home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, could I buck up and just like go back to work? I'm like, no, actually, this is a sign. I'm like, yeah, you can call out.
No, I did call out on Tuesday. I'm like, there's no way. Like I was up all night after, so I had to like shit or get whatever. I just had to dump it out,
hose you off.
So yeah, so I just
she has
like,
a hazmat suit. She's like contamination room. You're covered in vomit and shit. And she's like, hey, we got to take care of this.
I took a shower, and then as soon as Johnny left, I went and laid down in his, the bed that he vacated. I was like, after calling out.
I know it's gonna make me feel better.
Oh, it was horrible. I was, when you wake up from a nap and you're super confused on what time it is. I would wake up like every couple hours. I'm like, dude, why is it still light outside? When's this day gonna be done with? Fall asleep, wake up. When the fuck is this gonna be done? It's like 8:00 and it's still sun out. There's still like light. I'm like, fuck, go away.
I want to sleep it off. Yeah.
Yeah, I did sleep pretty much all day.
Do you have blackout curtains in your room, your bedroom there?
Not in there. I need to do that. I have it in this one. This room's pretty dark when you don't have any lights on. I came in here earlier when it was bright as hell outside. I'm like, nice. It's like a
cave.
It's beautiful. Yeah. It's like a man cave. No women allowed.
No girls.
Anyways. What did I get? I got Johnny brought me pedals to send to various places that need fixed. Yeah. So thank him for that. I'm sure I got some stuff.
I gave you back your Focusrite that you lent me a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, Focusrite.
You probably don't need that. But I'm like, well,
no, I think I'm gonna upgrade this anyways, because I told you, like when you turn up the volume, it loses left and right. Like it doesn't stay. It makes like a staticky noise, and I don't know if that's the focus right or
Program. But
yeah, I don't know, but it's usually the right side that drops out. I'm like, is it the corrosion somewhere on the actual plugs? Maybe I can just wipe them down and clean them. I don't know, but I think I just need to get something
maybe
different.
something with more inputs, or no?
Yeah, with more inputs, and maybe I'll just get a different focus. Now that I, am making music all the time, and before it was kind of like, well, let's just fill this need. Now maybe I can shop around for something that's a little better. But I don't know what else. I don't know what I got.
I gave him the Yamaha mixer, the powered mixer that we had back when we were kids. So what started the band, and then I did notice that like one of the channels or one of the sides went out. So essentially, it'd be 2 power amps. One of them wasn't working. So I'm like, oh, if you wanted to do more speakers, you couldn't. I'm sure you could. And then it's like it has the bridge feature to where you could bridge and like connect speakers. But I'm like, I brought it to a shop to try and fix, and they couldn't do it. But I'm like, maybe that's something you could tinker with, or it was something that I'm like, I don't need this. I have no need for this ever in my life ever again at the moment. And if I did need a mixer, I would probably buy something smaller, like a quarter of the size. But I was like, well, I don't need it. And you're like, well, I'll take it, because like just to have like a piece of history, piece of the Plane legacy. Because we bought.
We'll see. I could probably buy one that's one that maybe I could find one that has the exact opposite problem and just strip it.
And it was like a thing. I'm like, oh, I mean, like, not to that I'm not nostalgic or have like any of that romance from like, oh, back in the day we did that. Like, it was just like, I'm like, I don't really fucking need this thing. And I'm like, and you're saying, I'll take it. I'm like, good. If we can keep it in the family, keep it as part of the Plane, because that was really the big pivotal piece of gear that we got together. That was a boring fucking thing for 2 15-year-olds to buy. But you needed to have that. Like, because people are like, oh, I want to get my guitar amp, I want to get my bass amp, all my guitars or basses or whatever. So
you had to buy the most boring equipment just to make bass.
But it's also like, how are you going to hear vocals? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So we bought that. I'm like, God. And it was like, that was like, at the time, it was like, that's a lot of money. That's all our money.
Yeah.
And we went to that. And I'm like, okay, we had to get that just to get the band kind of started and moving. And it was like, cool. I mean, it still works. Like, you could use it in a pinch. But like I said, it was not working to its full capability. And right now, I mean, like, I don't need it for just in case. If like Plane practiced again, we don't need it at all. But I'm like, oh, you want to keep it. So
I guess if I had more microphones, I could run them through there. The Phantom Power still work on that, or what?
You could use it as a mixer and then line out too. Because Brian and Adam had a similar one, maybe like a little older version, but a little bit more powerful, that they used for the longest time in Just In Case back in Jersey. Like that was the PA that they would bring to shows, because they would play like halls. It's like, hey, you just have the space, put it on a show. Boom, they did it. And that was like the PA that all the bands would use. And then we still use it now for every band practice. So it's like we have 8-channel mixer, put it all through, monitor out or whatever to our in-ear rig, and it's silent. We don't plug in any speakers. So still works. So like, even if like we could use it that way. So it's not worthless, but it's also like, I don't really want to hold on to it. And so Johnny brought it over to you. So you're like, put it on the pile.
Nice. I sent him back some stuff for you, just like those cards I got. So
yeah.
You'll see it in a while. I couldn't remember if there was anything else that I bought for you that I have here.
Yeah, I think
I took you the microphone that I've got. Decks. The tech decks. Yeah. But yeah, that's my what's new. I'm gonna hang out with him still probably tomorrow night.
Share a bowl of rice together. Maybe a banana.
Yeah, no, I think we're good. I think I'm good now.
Yeah.
With my stomach, but goddamn, that's horrible.
All right, let's go to
It was great to like. He was still here in the morning too. I'm like,
You're
yeah,
trying
I'm
to
not
like
doing too
hold
well.
court and put on face. Like, yeah, I'm still a
Yeah.
good host. And you're
He's-
like about ready to shit your brains out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then we were talking about it, I'm like, oh, gotta go. Gotta blast. And then he's like, that didn't sound too good. I'm like, yeah, I was trying not to, it's a small house. Like, try not to have everyone hear me, but
Yeah.
what's a girl
Well, it was
gotta
like-
do?
Yeah, when it was
you
at
know?
your, mother-in-law's house, like the bathroom was right next to like the living room. And I was like, hey, Kyle, why don't you turn up that volume? You know what I mean? And then Kyle, you would go like, got it. And so you go and your mom and your wife are sitting on the couch watching TV. You crank up the volume. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, I gotta do this.
Ba-dow, da-dow. Just pick a song. Da-dow, da-dow. I love this song.
The sound
by the way.
system is just thumping. The whole block can hear it. And I'm just like, in the bathroom, just giving it.
He's shitting like
Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber, just on the.
And even the same thing too back at your house in Texas there, like because you have like one working bathroom, so it was like we just had barbecue all day and then beer in Germantown or whatever, and then it's like now it's time to like okay, we gotta just take a number for the toilet.
Oh man,
we were just
man. It's like the time that went to Coe's place and all he made was meat
and whiskey. He had meat, whiskey, and beer, and that was all that we just went. And just it was like 10 dudes just blowing his shit up.
Yeah, man. I had like this. My stomach hurt so bad because I think I was holding back farts. You know,
we're talking to Ryan and Steve.
Like, oh god. You're like, oh.
It was like you're talking to him like, oh yeah, no, and then it's like maybe I can squeak this out, and it's like.
It's like
I thought it would be silent.
You unload.
Yep, it wasn't. Nope, it wasn't. Like in Step Brothers.
He goes, try again.
Yeah.
Try harder next time.
Look here, pal.
Damn, yeah, that was a rough one.
Good times.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. Just like you're looking around, man, I need some vegetables. Which I don't.
Do you have like
I love vegetables.
Anything to soak up the alcohol too. Like do you have like just a piece of bread? You know what would be good? Fucking French bread from fucking.
It was all meat.
Because I think he thought like, I think the only person who brought anything was like, I think Sean Pierce Johnson brought like chips and then put more beer.
Yeah. He brought guacamole.
Oh,
that's what it was. And he made the guacamole. I'm like, that's great.
But he didn't bring chips. He's like, hey guys, just get spoonfuls of guacamole. Because it was just like, let's.
Yeah, just guacamole. Oh, man, lick
just
my
hang
fingers.
out with the bro. It was like all about just hanging out with guitar and gear. Just like, just hang out. And
that was fun. It was great.
Just,
yeah, but someone.
It's like, no.
Leave it to Coe.
Everybody just brought beer. Because I was like, oh yeah, we should do this.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it.
You should have been like, look, someone needs to bring something else.
Yeah.
Bring a Caesar salad or something.
Assign people jobs. I'm like, okay, you're the salad guy. You're the chip guy. You're the fucking hoagie. Bring a hoagie.
and then you're already drunk and eating beef, and you're like, oh shit, I can't go get anything.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go just like a mile away to
potato
the
salad.
supermarket.
A potato salad would have been fine. A bucket of that, just slop it on there. You're like, that would have been fine.
Just a pre-made bucket of potato salad.
Yeah. Hit the fucking.
Stop by Restaurant Depot, get a 5-gallon bucket
potato salad.
of...
You're good to go. And that would be all right. Not too bad. Get like a party bowl,
sweet.
and I'm like, that's mine. I'm like, all right, you guys just eat potato salad. You just soak this shit up.
Yeah.
That was good.
Rough.
But,
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, what do you got? You got anything?
Yeah, I mean,
what do you got?
Continued. I think we finished as far as we know. We'll take another listen, but finished guitars for the Just In Case EP that we have going on. Same deal. Used Adam Strat into his Mesa with the 2 Notes Torpedo X, and it was all right. And since the week previous, we already had his presets made for his, he has 2 cabs that he wanted to use in between 2 settings. I'm like, boom, switched, click between them. I'm like, Yep, that's easy. Already had his mix set up on my U Audio, the mixer. So it's like how much guitar he hears versus blah blah blah. So my console, UAD console, I'm like, all the presets are done.
Yeah.
I just click, boom, ready to go. We're recording. So it was even quicker. We got done with 2 songs. I'm like, oh, we're done in under 3 hours. And I was like, yeah, easy. So
Nice.
and those were the songs that he was, he's like, I think these might be more difficult, but I'm like, oh, he knocked them out faster. So it was good. So far, still have to do my bass tracks. I sent you the, the first mix down with drums and guitar. I don't know if you listened to them.
I have not had a chance. No. I've had a chance. What am I stupid?
Like, I just
so
liked them.
stupid. I have not listened to them.
Yeah.
No.
But they're sounding pretty good. So pretty stoked on that. So
Nice.
like I said, I just got to add my bass. I was kind of waiting, and I'm like, I don't know, and debating. I'm like, pulling a trigger on a tube 100-watt bass amp so that I can use it the same way that Adam is using his. Like, use that as my sound going into the torpedo captor. Because I think the captor is rated at 150 watts. So you can't use, like, Ampeg Classic, which are more, I want to say they're more common around here, like as opposed
Around these parts.
as opposed to like 100-watt Ampeg, the V4BH. And not that it's a better amp or anything, but it's just more rare. And then even like, oh, what's Mesa's, tube amp for bass? Not that I'm like, tubes are better, but I'm like, so far I'm like, tube going into like the hybrid setup is, I think it sounds better, So it makes me think, I'm like, if I can get my bass to sound better, I should just fucking do it. And I was kind of looking around. I'm like, all right, so what I might do is like, I'm just going to record bass the way I have it now with my Fractal. And then if, a V4B falls in my lap, because I charge it on my credit card, then I will re-record them. Because I'm like, four bass tracks is not going to fucking...
No, fucking no.
Yeah, but I'm like, every part of this has been stepped up. So I'm like, might as well step up, the bass. Like, I'm not the stepdad, but I'm the dad who stepped up, kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm the bass that stepped up.
Who stepped up. So anyways, so far it sounded good. So it's on me now. So I and got a couple weeks till Adam comes back. So I'm like, okay, I got to give him something. So let me record some bass. And then, and then I really already have it planned out. I'm just going to use the P bass because why the fuck not? It's always good go-to. And I love my jazz bass, love the Birdo bass, but I'm like, what works? Fucking P bass. So, besides that, didn't do too much on my staycation. Although I did, hunker down a little bit to like learn how to do some more video editing. So for Tone Jerks, it's
nice.
Easy enough right now. We keep talking about it, but I'm like moving to a different platform to where I can get your separate video footage to mine, and I can upscale it. But it's better. Like right now, it's like 480p is what fucking Zoom gives us. Thanks, and they charge us more, each year.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. No more features. Oh, they added AI companion. What the fuck? Cool. Thanks. Suck a dick. But I'm like, okay. But for Off the Rails, the podcast I do with a buddy of ours, comedian Austin Train, I want to do a multicam setup. So far, I've been kind of...
Oh, multicam.
Yeah. So 2 cameras. So one on him, one on me is what I've been using. But I'm like, I've tried to essentially do what this podcast looks like, split screen. But everything that I've learned how to do it, or try to learn how to do it video-wise, it's like, oh, watch this 20 fucking minute video on this, and it's like, add layers, and then you gotta ghost and shade and put 60% this way, but behind them, like, I'm adding like 4 or 5 fucking layers and doing all this other shit, and then like, you cut this part out, and then you whatever, and then put a green palette on this one so it blocks it out. I'm like, okay, this is sounding way more complicated than what I want. And it's 25 fucking minutes that I'm doing it. And so I do it, and I'm like, okay, I got the video kind of set up, and it can't render because there's so much going on in Final Cut. Not that my computer sucks, but it's like, it's, fucking 7-8 years old. And so I was like, and then it's like, the video file is going to be fucking huge. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I got discouraged because it would get to like almost the end, and it just like, bam, done, corrupt file or whatever the hell it is, just doesn't work. I got pissed off, and I'm like, this shouldn't be so fucking difficult, but I'm like, I can't find it. And so I'm like, okay, now I have, while I'm, I'm working, not that I'm like, okay, whatever, I got shit going on, but I'm like, I'm working and trying to do these
I'm working
these podcasts and doing band practice and all this other shit, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to get pissed off again that I wasted all this time and whatever and it doesn't work. So I'm like, okay, let's try this again. So I learned how to do a multicam setup, just a split screen between two, and it's so much easier than any fucking YouTuber made it out to be. Avoid YouTube videos that are over like 5 minutes long if you're trying to learn how to do something, because dickheads are just trying to get to 10 minutes or whatever of watch time so they can get paid more. Sorry, other
Losers.
YouTubers, whatever. You're like, I know he's like, I need to make a living. Oh no, you can fucking fuck off. I'm like, if I'm trying to learn something, if I'm trying to be entertained or whatever, so like there's some music ones which you're like, oh, I'm learning about the history of like this fuzz pedal or the jazz bass versus P bass or whatever. I'm like, that's for entertainment. But if I need to learn how to do something, I'm like, cut to the fucking chase, please. And I sound like a fucking bitch because I'm like, it's a free platform. But it's also, I'm like, okay, those are the ones that are the best. Because I found one, so it's like low views, maybe in under 2,000, but it was a maybe 2 minute and a half long video where somebody just showed me the quickest way to do this, to do a split screen. And it was like, click, 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 this compound. And then if you want to line it up, click, 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 do all this, and it syncs it to one audio. So you pick the main source of your audio for a podcast, and you do it. Done. So like, I didn't save the video to tell who it was, but I'm like, shout out to that. Shout out to, if you're gonna do an informational video of like how to change your fucking headlight, make it 2 minutes, please, or under. I don't need to go in the history of like your truck. I don't need to go in the history of like your feelings or your relationship with your wife that's failing. Let's move on.
Jesus.
So, like, I mean, it's just like that type of thing. So I'm like, okay. So I did kind of like from, my own, I took, had the gumption to do it. And I learned how to do more video editing.
The gumption?
Because it would be like shit of like, I'll have videos and swipes of the video coming in. I'm like, I don't need that. Just show me how to do what this video looks like with two cameras and footage that I already captured. I couldn't find none of the big ones, so fuck them. You just have to go searching. Like, really, that's my thing. Find something under 10 minutes, under 5 minutes. That's probably going to tell you what exactly you need.
Yeah, sometimes you just search and you're like, what the fuck? Why are you talking still?
I don't care about your face or your stupid fucking studio that you have. I'm not going to hit you up for Zoom sessions on how learn how to edit video. I'm like, fuck off. Yeah.
I'm not signing up for Nebula, okay? I'm not signing up for it.
Anyways, but yeah.
It's like Nebula is a service where collection of videos, which is better than YouTube. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, you know why it's probably better? It's because there's not this stupid fucking ad. You're not trying to sell someone this shit after they've already bought it.
So, I mean, it was a little outburst there, but I'm sure other people have been jammed up where they're looking at how to fix something or diagnose something, outside of like maybe the guitar video realm, that you're like, oh, cool. I love these YouTubers that just like, because that's how they make more money, is like the longer you watch a video.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Oh, you can sense it the way they're trying to drag it.
And they tell a story and they build it up. I was like, oh, I don't care. So,
I don't
But this past week, I, with Off the Rails, I recorded a 3-camera setup. And because of all the things that I've learned, I'm like, okay, I should be able to edit it the way I want to better. And it'll be like actually the first Off the Rails video that like Trey and I talked about it. And he's like, yeah, let's make it the first one. So, And so
Nice.
I have two cameras. So I have the two Sony 6400s. So I have the one that I'm filming this on here, and then I have my second one. So it's kind of like literally the same camera, and that's why I bought it. So I don't have to like learning curve to learn something else, you know. And I'm like, well, I would
Yeah.
like a third one. So I use my phone, and I'm like, oh, I have a Filmic Pro. So some of the earliest like gear demo videos on the channel, I think some of the earliest videos really, I use my phone, which isn't humble brag. It's an iPhone 11 Pro, and with the Filmic Pro app, I think it was like maybe $10 or something like that. It's like RJ talked about it, so RJ Teletalk, shout out. Televised Neon. He mentioned it to me. I'm like, hey, this could be a really good thing, just to like kind of unlock the camera potential of your phone, so you can do like autofocus, focus, or whatever. Control like f-stops and the shutter frame rates and stuff like that. So more camera, you make your phone more of a camera. And at the time, I didn't know any of that stuff, but it helped me learn how to do it. And so now on an actual camera, I know what I'm looking for and what I want. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, let's make this my third, C camera, and record it off the rails. It was more of me being in the producer position, to where I'm like, okay, I'm there. I was still like a host and adding to the podcast, but it was like not an interview, but like just a guest on Off the Rails with like Austin and his buddy of his, which I don't know if you may know this guy. So James Schrader. So have you ever watched the Dr. Squatch ads on YouTube and stuff like that? I know we're talking about ads.
Yeah.
So that guy, with the beard and long,
Yeah.
Dr. Squatch. And then, so I'm like, oh fuck, I know that guy, which is like funny because
Oh, that's cool.
so William Painter, and he also does a new one. I can't remember the name, but he does like the wool socks. So he does like, I'm like, oh, this guy is kind of like, hearing his story and how he kind of came about. I'm like, oh, he came from improv and stuff like that. Not to like spoil the episode, but I was like, oh, it was kind of cool just to hear them riff and talk about it, because they both kind of started at the same time, and they both went different paths. Like he's like, I'm not really an LA guy. Like I never really broke into Hollywood in LA, but he's like, but I got these ads and stuff like that, so I'll play, shows in other places. And then like Train's like, oh, I kind of started.
He does Harry's too, right? Harry, the shave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I think
anyways,
Bucked Up, which is another like fitness like supplement brand. He's people are like, oh shit, Dr. Squatch really worked. Like you can go back in his videos and like have like 90 million views, because like people
crazy.
like these.
You're very recognizable.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
like these ads.
When you said it, I was like, I know who you're talking about. And I looked it up. I'm like, yep, that's the dude.
So I was like,
that's cool.
I don't want to fuck this up. This is like the first like Train's like guest. Not that he's a huge deal, but I'm like, okay, but I want it to look the best that I can. I'm like, okay, we'll do 3 camera setup. And I was like, oh, because he told me that in a month we're gonna do this. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I would like to have a third camera, but I'm like, I can't swing it right now. Jammed up. But what I can afford is a new lens. So currently, we've talked about lenses before and camera shit. Because you mentioned you want to start a YouTube channel, and so kind of a drunken primer on that to you. So currently the one that I'm using on this one is a Sony. So I have a crop sensor, so it's a smaller view as opposed to like a wider full frame. Some people, they like full frame or nothing. I like the crop sensors; they're fine. They're like less than half the price, fraction of the price of a full frame camera, but also. The lenses are cheaper compared to the full frame ones.
Yeah, not by much. Yeah.
So this guy is the 11 millimeter. So it means it's really wide. So you can see like how my whole room here, and it's good for a kind of a face-to-face web camera kind of deal. I love it. This lens is awesome, and I have it on the same camera, the 6400 Sony, which is not like super cheap, but not super expensive. And the more you learn your camera, the better. And I'm learning this Sony 6400, and I'm like, I love it. I kind of don't feel the need to jump to like a $2,000 or $3,000 camera, but also I'm not doing anything like where people are paying me, so I don't know what I'm missing. And then so I'm like I said, I have the second one, so my B camera, and the lenses that I had were just 3 lenses, so it's like wide like this one, and then that means the camera is like within arm's length. So I'm like, awkward that is to have like, hey, here's a camera right in your face. But for this, it works. And I'm like, oh, my other lens that I have is a 16 millimeter, which is not much, zoomed in. So the bigger the number, the more zoomed it is. And so I'm like, okay. Yeah. And then the other one I have, which is perfect for a podcast, is a 50 millimeter, meaning that it's more zoomed in, but like I have to move the camera into position, so I can't zoom in or out. I'm like, well, shit. Another 50 millimeter would be kind of good for another podcast, my camera. But I was thinking like, well, maybe if I get something more versatile. So, great brand. It's called Sigma. Great lenses for.
Did you say Ligma?
Sigma balls. So I have, which is one of my favorites, which is kind of becoming obsolete with the more lenses I get. But I'm like, the Sigma 16 millimeter is great for these Sony cameras. But I'm like, they have one that is an 18 millimeter to 50. So now it's like a zoom. And so nice. I can have it wide, kind of like this shot, but also zoomed in.
Yeah, but you always want to show how big it is.
Yeah,
always.
There you go. But
always keep it
extended.
Out.
And
but if it's cold, we show us on the cold day.
Still, boom.
Still, yeah, right.
Japan, boom. These are great. These are great
That's
lenses.
Cool.
Was not cheap though. About
what are we looking at here? You can just whisper in the mic.
I told you about $5 bills.
Oh, $5.
$5 large, 5,000. Are you kidding me? That'd be financial ruin. It's $500. But it showed just in time. Worked perfect for that setup, and yeah, I'm happy with the footage that I got for that podcast. I just need to edit it, so we'll see how my edit job goes. Yeah, it was fun, and it's just the fact that I'm like, I learned a thing or two, and
yeah,
I was telling you,
Let's go.
Man, like some hobbies they just cost so much fucking money. It's like the cool ones, at least, because like you can be like, I'm hiking and running. I'm like, okay, loser. No,
those are cheap.
You just got to buy the.
I mean, except it just destroys your body.
It's better for you.
That's why I don't run.
And then I run my mouth.
These colors don't run.
I run my mouth, huh? But I was like, oh, I love camera shit, and I'm always like, it's fun getting into it and stuff like that. But I'm like, man, some of it, just to buy a lens, I'm like $500. If I want to buy another camera, one I'm eyeing, I'm like $1,000. Because I'm like a third camera that I want to get. I'm like, oh, a step up and a little bit more features than the 2 that I have. I'm like, God damn it. It's like, wait, I get screwed all the time. It's just like, yeah, now to me, I'm like, oh, that's crazy. So think about like guitars, obviously. You can run budget guitars. I'm sure with cameras, you can kind of run budget. But if you know what you want, sometimes you got to pay for it. And then even like, if you like cars or if you like guns or if you like, gaming to a certain degree. I'm like, man, that'll cost money. I'm like, this shit sucks.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to Carrie today about if we did a channel just on like stuff we were working on just on the house. Because people do that, oh, we're doing we're pouring concrete today, or we're doing this, we're doing that. I'm like, we could do that with the garden.
Yeah.
Like, we could just do a video first, just kind of, we're going to move it. But, we use my little zero turn to drag the freaking things across the yard. But I'm like, all right, well, do the whole process, show it off.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and then you had mentioned...
I need to get a new iPhone first before we do that, and then I need to get a better camera.
I think you could, if you want to just start it out and see if you even like doing it. Let's start off with your phone. Like I say, get a new phone, because I think yours is, giving up the ghost
That's a
couple of years ago, but you're still keeping it along.
Yeah,
But if
mine's a 10, 10S.
But it's fun. It's even like Johnny's been getting into videography and shit like that with his bike shit.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm getting, he's got GoPros. He's like, I got the newest iPhone. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, the more you do it, and then you just kind of get used to it. Like, I'm still not a pro at videos and shit like that, but I'm like, oh, I looked at the footage that I got from my iPhone. I'm like, this is going to be fine. Because it's really just the iPhone camera was on me and James. So whenever I said something, like he would do some riffs. So he's like, Train was withholding something about like a story. He's like, I really want to hear the rest of the story without being edited, right? So like, yeah, I have that shot to where he's leaning to me to like be, the third man. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll use that maybe for a total of like 4 minutes of an hour long podcast. But I'm like, I have that footage, and it's like totally fine out of a phone. If that was like your only camera, it would still be fine. Like a bigger podcast, like they're not huge, but it's like Sam Talent's literally a big guy, but also it's like a big name. His Chubby Behemoth podcast, it's like we're stuck in a bind. We don't have the third guy here. We're in a hotel before a show. I'm using my iPhone.
Yeah.
And then we have a Zoom.
Was it Matt and Shane? Yeah. Matt and Shane use one.
Yeah, they use one camera. Yeah. And then people complain of like, this is like the literally biggest podcast on Patreon, and they use one fucking camera.
Yeah,
they're like,
well, they give good shit.
They make one fucking
they're funny
camera.
as hell.
Their producers are off mic usually, and so all you hear is the room of them talking. It's like, God damn it! And how come they don't have mic stands or anything? It's like that's kind of what makes it funny. Because like they could afford it all, but it's like we don't have a studio. It's like we're in Shane's.
They still want to work. They have other things to worry about.
Shane,
like that's
they're in
great.
his living room, so it really doesn't matter. But for some reason, people love watching podcasts. I do it every once in a while. I listen to Matt and Shane, but I'll watch Are You Garbage, just because of like their facial expressions and stuff like that, and they do really good production. So some of the.
Speaking of podcasts or like specific podcasts, I should have put this in my what's new, but I started one just literally on like a book or a multiple books, so a book series. I was like, I actually like this, talking about just every chapter. I'm on like the 5th episode, just working and listening to it, and then like, oh, don't forget your earbuds today, Kyle. You want to listen to more of that, while they're just talking about the character.
Talk about it before show. Did you mention the book name that it's about?
No, it's the Dark Tower series, because it's one of those books that like you read it and you think about it all the time. I don't know. Just gets it. It's kind of like the Bible.
Because you did read it IRL and then went back and did the audiobook version, right?
Well, yeah, well, I read. Okay, not really. I read the first book, and that one caught me. And then I was like, I couldn't. I tried reading the second one, and I started it like 3 times, and I was like, man, I can't get through this. Second one's like killing me, and I'm like, what if I did audio? That's kind of what started me doing audio books. I'm like, I work in a truck that has fucking speakers. Why not just get that and listen to it? And that got me through the rest to like 7 books.
Yeah.
So. But now I'm like, what did I miss in the book? Who else?
Also like
who else has a different opinion
like
or
watch a series or watch a movie or something like that? Train mentioned it. Like he's like, sometimes he'll watch a movie and it's like, now I want to watch a video of somebody talking about it because maybe they had a different, like,
or because like even listening to this, these guys talk about it, which it's called 2 guys go to the Dark Tower. I forget what it is. It's something like that. If someone's interested in that book series, which a lot of people are, it's an interesting one. But they talked about something. I'm like, did I miss that in the book? I'm like, I must have missed that. I must have like
it would be like like say two of your friends or watched the same movie at the same time, or you read the same book at the same rate.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, what did you experience that was different from me? It's like you're not having that conversation, and people make the joke like there's that meme of somebody sitting next to like four people eating a salad, like podcast be like. It's like, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's like that's what really is like. Oh, I want to hear their perspective on the media or the thing that I absorbed.
Yeah. And what they do sometimes is they pull out a line that like really stands out to them. I'm like, wow, Stephen King really wrote that really well. Like that's really cool how he described that thing that happened or whatever.
Yeah.
About how the sun moved across the sky. It seems like a simple thing, but the way he talked about it, like it dragged itself, like personified something. You're like, man.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Or how so that's I'm there's a lot of chapters and each episode's a chapter apparently. So
yeah, no, that
I thought it was gonna be just like a quick thing, but I'm like, all right, I'm in it. We'll see how far I get in this before I like, fuck it, I want to read these again. I want to hear them again.
Yeah,
so.
there was I was telling you, like, it's still out there. I can't remember the name of it. I should have looked it up. But there was an N64 podcast where like two buddies, and like they had friends every once in a while. Just a couple of bozos talking about every N64 game. So they either had the game and played through it, and then or had a ROM and they played through it, and then they talked about it every episode. But there was a finite amount of games because it's like the thing was fucking done back in 2001. It's like so there's only so many games you could talk about, and then the podcast like, all right. We're done. We did it. The podcast is over. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. It's like they had a critique or talked about or whatever. There were some games, or some episodes that I never played that. I don't really care to listen to it. But I'm like, I talk about a game that I played. I'm like, I want to hear what their takes are. And it's like, it doesn't matter their takes, but I'm like, I do like to hear that. Same thing with like listening to a podcast about like, which I haven't done in a while, but it's like about anime. I'm like, I watched this series. I want to know what they have to say about it or what they thought about it. Well, it could be the same as me or different. I'm like, oh, cool. It's always interesting to hear that because you don't always have that nowadays conversation that you can have with somebody. Because like you and I are best friends, but I'm like, I haven't read the Dark Tower series, probably won't. So you and I couldn't chat about it. But there's like maybe movies that we've seen we can chat about. But it's like, okay, they're fewer and far between.
You're working on it.
Yeah. Way back in the day, early episodes of the podcast, versions of the podcast, where we did that, where we swapped shows. I'm like, I'll watch this show if you watch this one. I watched Stranger Things and you watched Sword Art Online. I'm like, that was kind of cool. I'm like, but that's like that doesn't happen too much, not just between us, but like people. It's like, okay, I really didn't have any, and then after season 1, I'm like, okay, I did my diligence. I'm good. And then you carried on and moved and went through more seasons, I think, of Sword Art Online. But it was like, oh man, that was back when you were working at the hardware shop. Damn, that was a long time ago. But it's like that's what we did that. Maybe we should do that again. Like find a show that you definitely wouldn't watch and one that I wouldn't watch with like given my own, trajectory or what I'm looking for. But anyways, I don't know. We kind of ran along with what's new because honestly, it's been maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks since we talked.
So many toilets filled.
Yeah, we're both getting food poisoning to different degrees. And I think during that time, we both had Chipotle. There was one day where I'm like, I bought Chipotle. I was being I was like at home and I was like, oh, you know what? I think I had like a voucher or something for free delivery of Chipotle. I'm like, it's not that far away from my house.
Really?
I could have drove there or walked there, but I'm like, just bring it in. So I had it delivered. And I'm like, this rocks.
Dang.
And I was like, I'm like, I cheated on my diet today. I had Chipotle. And you're like, I had Chipotle. We're both on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was good app. Good catching up. I think we're back on track with episodes being released. But yeah, let's bring it in for a landing. What do you say? We had a topic, but we can save that. Kick the can.
Just keep it fresh.
Next week. All right. So thank you for tuning into the Tone Jerks podcast. If you like what you hear, you can follow along on social media. We're on Instagram at the Tone Jerks. We're on Facebook. We have a Facebook group linked in the description. We're on YouTube, posting those video podcasts up there. Eventually going to start doing some more video content up there. But so far, the podcast in video form is up there. And yeah, once we started getting back to doing the podcast, we're getting steady subscribers, like new ones. I'm like,
nice.
People love video podcasts.
People
even
love
if it's
us.
not like production quality of like, say I keep bringing them up, but like, Are You Garbage? But that's like a level. I'm like, I would love to do, but they're like a 7 camera setup. They have a fucking crew. Anyways, and then I'm like, just like this split screen from Zoom. People are like, yep, I'll I'll watch it. And I don't like it. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching on YouTube. But if you do watch on YouTube, please give us a sub, give us a dom over there. And if you really like the show, you can help support us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. But if you do give us, damn it, $1 a month.
God damn it! Start it all
Welcome to
over
the Tone
again.
Jerk Podcast. I'm your host, Brian. We've done that like
We've
10
done
times.
that before. It's
But it's still
start over. Well, when I was born, my parents said,
but it still gets me laughing.
I remember being born. Actually,
So you can help support us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. But if you double down for $2 a month, just $2 a month. Some people are like, you need $5 or $10 a month. But just for $2 a month, you get an extra episode every week. That's what I'm talking about on the Patreon. You get a whole new podcast over there. It's not the same as the main. It's a little more loosey-goosey. A little more expletives flying over there. Hey.
greasy, basically.
Yeah, the gloves are off over there on Patreon, I tell you. All right, but you get that over there for $2 a month, and you get it every week. If we miss an episode here on the main, we don't miss it on the bonus. So, head over there, and then you get an RSS feed, put it in your favorite podcatcher, and you just get the new episodes into your ear holes there. And then
should hit him with a freaking Patreon teaser every once in a while. All right, you need to do that. All right, you need to do that.
Find the one, and then we should do that. There was the one, I can't remember what it was. We reference it like a bunch here, and it's probably one of my favorite stories, where you talk about like how you farted and shit on the wall. Spoilers. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta go back and listen and find that episode. Maybe I'll put that one up, or just a clip.
I'm like, what's on the fucking wall? Oh, God
That's
damn
me.
it. I know it.
So anyways, so you got Patreon over there, and then just for the support for $1 a month or more, you get a shout out, a sizable acknowledgement. Kyle, you got a list? Why
got it
don't
right
you
here.
give it to...
I have Andrew Walsh from Andrew's Alcove and Red 4, his synth project. Got Abe Newman, Michael Newman, Nicholas Payson, Nicholas Ogburn, Doug King, Joe from the Like Mind Network, Masters of the Cinematic Universe, and also the Just Surprise Me podcast. We got R.J. Smith from Teletalks and Televised Neon. He's from the tele. Mommy, he's from the
He took
telly.
the tube to the
That's
telly
him.
on the trolley.
The tube. Yeah.
What's my bit of lager? Beans on toast, eh? At least schools.
Rev up the Bugatti. Oh,
At least schools.
Oh, I shoot. Got shoot. I can't even do it. All right. Anyways. Jamie Davis, Johnny Ray, Steve Rao from Stixie Cycle, Hum, Kevin E. Quitz from E. Quitz Guitars, Co. Schneider from the band Night Tides, Alvaro Viramontes, Brian Nutter of Nutter Guitars, Mel Chipson of Chipson Guitars, Sean Arbo from Gun Street Wiring Shop, Sean Fahey from the band Shadowhounds out of San Antonio. Sean Wright from Lollygagger Effects and How to Fucking Solder on YouTube. Juan Ortiz from Tone Hungry Effects. Mike Oxbig. Nope, that one's not on here. I just
can't.
that was that's
I can't not say
someone
it.
changed their name.
No, that was just
Yeah.
you saying it. Is he?
Yeah. No, actually Mike Oxbig is here. I don't know what I'm doing. Mike Oxbig. I said Mike or my Coxbig. Sorry.
Just a fucking
No.
just
Sorry, I don't know.
bozo in it.
I don't know what I'm doing. I know. I don't know what I'm
This is
doing
a
here.
K-
My
it's
cock's
a
big.
K-Mac jam.
Denny
up.
whacked it. I think I was. I got lost and I thought I read one that someone had changed their name already, but then I looked. I know it's there. Just being stupid. I had such a good run. All right,
I never messed
starting over. That's Kyle from the. Yeah. Anyways, I fucked that up too.
Gregory McIntyre.
I'm just drowning over here. Don't even save me. If you see my hand, just fucking
High five.
give me a high five.
Drown.
Give me a hand. Zach Hale, Eric Mayo from YouTube, Instagram, and the Movie Podium Podcast. I got Scott Hamilton from the Effects Loop Podcast, Matthew Fenslaw, Matthew Davis, Chase Stevens, and Pete from over there. And that is the
All
list.
right. We will see you next week. We love you. Good boy.
Bye.